Hi everybody, Matt here from Matt Likes Comics. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the Suicide Squad, specifically Volume 6 of the Suicide Squad. Although, we could talk about it all day. It's one of those things that has so much to learn and so much to see that we could talk for hours about it. But today I'm going to stick to Volume 6 because Volume 6 had only 11 issues and a crossover into Flash, to one of the annuals for Flash that came out around the time. Basically, the Suicide Squad had several incarnations. You have the original team that made its debut in the Brave and the Bold 25 and was on and off for 6 issues. I think it was 3 and 3. I might be wrong. It might have been 6 straight. But the second version of the Suicide Squad made its debut in issue 3 of the Legends miniseries, 2 issues after Amanda Waller made her debut. This second version, in one form or another, forms the Suicide Squad from there on. And in most versions, Amanda Waller is in charge. But in this case, this one, Waller is not. And that's one of the reasons why I picked it, because it's slightly different than the rest. I'm going to go over the first 5 books of the series, and I will show you the covers for the rest. The reason is the last 6 issues have a lot of, shall we say, twists and turns and interesting stuff and surprises that I want to leave something for you to discover on your own. Especially, I don't want to spoil it. I know it's been 3 or 4 years since it's come out, but I want, more than anything, I want people to discover this stuff on their own. I'm simply trying to nudge you in a little direction. Okay? The membership of the Suicide Squad in this particular version is Harley Quinn, Magpie, the Cavalier, the Shark, not King Shark, the Shark, Deadshot, and somebody named Zebra Man. And to be honest, I don't know who Zebra Man is. I never heard of him before this. The entire series is written by Tom Taylor, and the art for the series was done by Bruno Redondo. And we have here issue 1. Harley, of course, is right in the middle of it all. There is a group called the Revolutionaries, seen as terrorists by most governments worldwide, and they attack the Australian Navy. Task Force X is drawn into this under a new leader by the name of Locke. It is not Amanda Waller. It's L-O-K, by the way. That's Locke. And they're sort of forced and told to deal with the revolutionaries. Sure enough, there's a big fight. It's mostly in the water, and there's casualties on both sides because Magpie, one of the revolutionaries named Scale, and the Cavalier all die. And yes, this is the Magpie that made her debut in Man of Steel 3 from another one of my videos. Unfortunately, she's now passed away, which is too bad because although I think this is like a different version every time the things get reset, because I think that Magpie had died earlier. Anyway, so the book ends with the revolutionaries being shot by Deadshot with the bombs that go off in the Suicide Squad's heads if they act up and don't follow the rules. So they're told that they're now part of the Suicide Squad and accompany the team back to the headquarters. This book here, book 2, begins with a sequence of Deadshot and the president. They don't say which president, but I assume it's the president of the United States. By the way, that does become apparent. Well, that's why I bring up the idea of the president. Okay? There is then a confrontation between Shark and one of the new revolutionaries named Finn, whose brother Shark ate in the last episode, and that was Scale. Okay, he actually ate him. That's how he killed him. Okay, Harley is extremely upset that they're being forced to work together because she doesn't like them. And if anybody knows Harley in the Suicide Squad, she's less her usual self and more a little team oriented and stuff like that in the Suicide Squad books. So it's not quite her usual her personality. She's when she's with Poison Ivy or the Joker. So Locke tells the team that the revolutionaries have been listed as officially dead. So as far as the world is concerned, the revolutionaries are gone. They are given a mission to kill the president of Badnicia. And but for those people who have read DC for a long time, they'll remember that Badnicia is the country that Johnny Thunder and the Thunderbolt are from. Specifically, Johnny Thunder as the seventh kid of a seventh kid born in the seventh year on the seventh day in the seventh hour. A lot of sevens, eh? So he's able to use the Thunderbolt, and that's why, he eventually on Earth 2 becomes king of Badnesia in one of the Superman family books I have, actually. But in this case, they are given the mission to kill the president. Finn and Shark are tasked with taking out the radar, which they have to do by swimming up in sea. The rest of the team parachutes are scheduled to parachute in from a plane, but the plane suddenly gets hit, and before they can jump, and everybody but Deadshot is teleported off because one of the revolutionaries has the power of teleportation. And in this particular team, the only non-revolutionary was Deadshot, so they left him to die. However, it being Deadshot, he walks away from the crash. Using the telepathic power, the person goes into the presidential palace and brings out the president, and the team kills him. Issue number 3, which has this wicked cover of Harley Quinn jumping on Shark, trying to hold him back while some of his teammates try to hold back Finn. Locke is actually pissed that that president is dead because that's the president of the opposition. What's going on in that is that there's a separate presidents going on. There's one legit and one not legit, and they killed the not legit one, the one they wanted to put into power. Okay, so Locke is a little upset with the team. Meanwhile, Harley's team, which is the third team coming in, is tasked with killing the puppet. Except that the puppet has already been killed. They don't know that. So they take out the guards and enter the presidential palace. Meanwhile, Finn manages to take out his revenge on the Shark, and because he has managed to arrange that a group of other sharks in the water actually mutilate and kill him and eat him. It's kind of a very gross scene, but at the same time, really cool. So, I think it's almost worth the price. If you like into horror and stuff, this is a book to get just for that. And so the revolutionaries are actually planning to kill the Suicide Squad members if they can get away with it. They manage, however, they have a telepath. Finn is a telepath, so when he's done with Shark, he comes and joins them, and they use Finn's telepathic powers to talk, and they actually manage to convince Deadshot to have him and the rest of the team work with the revolutionaries. So they actually get to the true president, and they send her into hiding because it turns out one of the guys of the revolutionary is her son. So Both presidents have been taken care of as their mission, but the task force players are starting to think that Locke may be a little no good. Now to issue 4. Another good one here. Basically, the book opens with Captain. Okay, I couldn't quite read what I'd written, but now I've got it. The book opens with Captain Boomerang sitting in a bar, and he's running his mouth off, like a typical way that a guy, of his. If you all know what Captain Boomerang is like, so you kind of get the idea of how he's running off his mouth and such. And find that when a task force team, he says the magic words, by the way. Apparently, he's always got a listening device on him, and he said Task Force X. And so, sure enough, people show up to take him away, and there's a huge fight. Harkness, which is Captain Boomerang, manages to escape because he kills everybody on the task force with his boomerangs. Therefore, the Suicide Squad is sent after him. Harley uses ether on Deadshot to find out what's going on, and the new team leader is named Osita. She's from the Revolutionaries, and Osita wants to get Captain Boomerang because Captain Boomerang killed her wife at an earlier time, and she wants revenge. Okay, she tells her story to Deadshot and Harley, and so they decide that they're actually going to join the Revolutionaries. The next day, they have a camp night, so because this is a long trip they're going on to find Captain Boomerang. Apparently, he's on the biggest highway in Australia, and they don't know where he is, so they have to drive it because they can't fly because it's too obvious. So the next day, they finally locate Boomerang, and the character Jog, who has speedy powers like the Flash, from the Revolutionaries, gets hit by an exploding boomerang, and that's the end of the book. The book begins with Jog supposedly dying. Osita manages to get into Captain Boomerang close and beats the crap out of him, almost to a pulp if she wasn't stopped by Harley. Harley came up behind her with a gun and said, "Stop now or I'm going to shoot you." And I guess Harley is feeling some sort of feelings for Captain Boomerang, who's been their teammate for quite a while. So it turns out that Jog is not dead because he has super healing, and so therefore he gets up, and they all manage to put the captured Boomerang into the plane and go away. When they return, Lawton is ordered to kill, and Lawton is Deadshot for those that don't know, ordered to kill Captain Boomerang by Locke. Well, Deadshot responds by killing the Zebra character. I believe his name, what was his name? Zebra Man, whose power was to put a force field around Locke to protect Locke from anything that the Suicide Squad could do. So they shot Zebra Man, thus killing the force field, and he's able to shoot Locke and kill Locke. However, when the fight breaks out, there's big fighting going on, and Jog ends up dying for real and good when the bomb in his head is set off by somebody else. Obviously not Locke, because he's now dead. It is then we find out who Locke reports to. And I'm not going to reveal that because I would like you to find that out on their own. It is at this point you need to read the Flash book, the Flash Annual, to carry on the story. I have it. I just couldn't find it earlier, and I was just trying to not rush through it, but I was writing this stuff down and thought, well, I'll just do the Suicide Squad part. Excuse me. And this is issue 6, and they have a special guest. I wonder who. Issue 7, where Deadshot tries to quit. Like I said, this series is just full of twists and turns. You have to read this. This is really cool. This is actually a really good story all over. Suicide Squad 8. Suicide Squad, this is number 9. Now, I'm a little hesitant to show you this one because one of the surprises may be ruined when you see the cover, but this is Suicide Squad 10, and it has a character on it that I would have never guessed at the beginning. And then the final issue, because they moved on and went back to the status quo with Amanda Waller in a new series not long after this. So that is Suicide Squad Volume 6. It is really, really good. I'm not a huge fan of Tom Taylor, but I liked this. Because if you keep him to a shorter story, and in this case it's basically 11 issues because he actually didn't write the Flash Annual. He contributed a bit, but he didn't write it. So overall, he did a really good job with the overall arc and the overall... Like, seriously, there's a surprise in every issue. Like, get the first 5 because it sets up the story as I've described them to here. But I left out certain things in my descriptions on purpose. Again, I want you people to read it and enjoy this for yourself because this is a good story. If you like what I've done, please hit like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Comment below if you've read this or you want to read this because it is worth it. It is all of these books there's no keys. The Batman book has an extra dollar on it maybe because it's Batman, but I saw 3 of these in the dollar bins at the last show that I went to. So it's not an expensive series to get. Even if you get this in trade paperback form, it's 2 paperbacks. And it's worth it. Because if you like interesting stories with a bit of twists and, what a twist, right? Then I really think you should read this. This is Suicide Squad Volume 6. And I think everybody should give it a go. I know I'm harping on it. I know I'm repeating myself. But the fact is, I feel that strong about it because I really, really, really enjoyed it. Anyway, my name is Matt, and I like comics. And I hope you do too.